Hey, what's happening out there? This is Halftime Prep Talk. It's baseball season, Zach. HTPT is brought to you by Fannin Automotive Family. Check out the Chick-fil-A ticker for updated records on area teams through Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. You'll be seeing this Friday. Happy April Fool's Day. We are actually here. This is Zack Klemme. I'm Aaron Snyder. We're the Daily Independent. You're watching this on dailyindependent.com or YouTube or the Halftime Prep Talk Facebook page. Zach, Granite County is the only undefeated baseball team in the area right now. We got a few softball teams that don't have any losses yet. Rowan County being one of those. I think they're 6-0. So what do you think so far? First impressions of the season, what teams stand out?
Well, it's early. We've seen only a couple of games so far. Greenup and Lawrence were two teams I saw that had a pretty good performance. Rowan County also played well the day I was able to see them. I think this time of year, by the time coaches always say, by the time you get to mid-May, anything that happens really before mid-April, you can just kind of throw out the window. People are trying to figure out what they've got still, trying to get their chemistry right, trying to figure out who they can trust in big situations, both pitching and hitting. But, you know, seeing Greenup County's come out, they've added a dimension to their game, a little bit of power. We'll talk about that in a little bit. They've got a very deep pitching staff. They've got a pretty good defense when they're picking it well. I mean, Rowan County's a team that we saw really showed a lot of comeback and kind of fight getting past Boyd County on Tuesday night. And if you go down to the 15th region, Lawrence County, just a very impressive hitting performance a few times. They got some defensive issues to shore up. But
had 11 errors in one game, right?
Yeah, according to Coach Feldner. But there's a lot of teams that bring a lot of different things, and right now it's just a matter of letting people get reps and coaches find out what they have. And mid-May and late May should be pretty interesting again.
Right. It's still March, and March baseball and softball, so you're not going to know exactly what we see yet. But like you said, it's in the experimental phase. Teams are going down to South Carolina and Florida, and some are staying here for spring break next week, and they're going to learn a ton more about their teams. Coaches and players are about themselves too.
Yeah.
And obviously, we're here at Greenup County, and we're going to have Coach Greg Logan and pitcher Zach Caden and also Ethan Coldiron on with us here in just a little bit. We'll talk to them. We might even bring up their team mascot here in a little while too. All right, but let's go to now to our triple play. All right, triple play this year. There's going to be 3 game balls. Obviously, Matt Sparks is not here today. I don't know where he is. He's MIA. We had a couple of excuses we were going to make for him, but he's just not here.
He's not here.
He dropped the ball. The ball, didn't he?
Yes.
But he still wants to give a game ball.
Usually it's me that's not here, so I don't know.
I know, yeah.
We always have somebody here. It just might not be the person that you're looking for.
Exactly. We're not going to throw Sparks under the bus too much, but
you throw me under the bus when I'm not here. But
it's kind of fun.
It's expected.
Sorry. But he wanted to give his game ball to Landon Brewer of Russell. Landon Brewer had 5 RBIs against Ashland. He had a home run, so standout performance for Landon Brewer. What about you, Zach?
Well, I got to see Lawrence and Russell baseball the other night, stay in Flatwoods. But for the other team, Morgan Miller, their leadoff hitter, also their catcher for Lawrence County, got on base all 5 times he batted on Monday night. Now, 3 of those, I believe, were walks. One of them was a hit by pitch, and he actually was 1 for 1 in 5 plate appearances. But
it's like a Joey Votto stat.
Yeah, and he was their catcher. Their pitcher, Austin Bailey, had a 10 strikeout game, complete game effort, hit 6 innings. Big win for Lawrence County. Their offense is kind of coming along, and like Travis Feldner said, when you're striking people out, your defense also looks pretty good.
And they were at state tournament last year, as Greenup County was. And in fact, they faced one another. Musketeers eliminated the Bulldogs last year.
Yep.
I'm going to give my game ball to Sarah Heineman. Let's go to the softball diamond here. The junior for Russell. She hit a 3-run home run last night, a 3-run home run the night before, and she's probably going to hit a 3-run home run tonight. I don't know. I don't think they play tonight, but if they did play, she would hit a 3-run home run because she's on a roll right now. And so I'm going to give her my game ball. I don't have a softball, but here's a baseball for you, Sarah. So let's play 2. And that's going to highlight our games of the weekend, which we didn't have a whole lot to pick from this weekend because teams are getting ready to get set for the spring break week and everything. So first of all, let's talk about Rowan County and East Carter baseball.
That's a couple of teams in the region tournament made pretty good impressions last year. They're off to pretty decent starts. East Carter lost a lot of its pitching from last year, so they're still trying to kind of figure out what they have. But Rowan County's off to a very impressive start. They do not have a loss inside the region. Rowan's actually played 4 one-run games in a row, heading into Wednesday night's game at Ashland, and this has the potential to be another one, depending on what East brings. But this is another kind of intriguing early season matchup with Keith Prater and Jeremiah Shearer both kind of want to see what they got. And and find out, kind of just build toward the end of the season.
Yeah, and East Carter, they lost a lot of experience off of last year's team, starting with a couple of pitchers like Chandler Adams and Austin Floyd. But they do have a lefty that's really good. Jordan Walburn is a really good pitcher from the left side, and he actually pitched against Greenup last night. So that's somebody they can lean on. Trey Klein at the top of the order. They like him, I think. And, like Cam Plank, everybody thinks of Cam Plank when you think of Rowan County. And the guy throws in the mid-90s. He's going to Louisville.
But Coach Prater talked last night, Tuesday night, about they've got some younger guys behind him. John Nickel, they've used him to close a little bit when they are in a safe situation. A.J. Hacker's come along, and Corey Binion, some other younger guys that they've got. And, you think about Easton, typically they're going to be sound defensively, sound fundamentally. I guess they're hoping the offense will come along. It's still early in the year. Typically defensive pitching are ahead of offense at this point. But they're trying to work into what they got.
So Rowan East baseball Friday night, and then Greenup Johnson Central softball Friday night. Could be an interesting matchup. Greenup's kind of in transition mode a little bit, just because anytime a softball team has to change pitchers after 4 years of having the same pitcher, it's going to be you're going to have some bumps that you have to endure. So they have Madison Crump, and she's a lefty. Greenup County also has Michael Leslie, who came out to play, all-area basketball player. So, and Johnson Central has a new coach.
They do.
Could be kind of interesting.
But they have the same pitcher, and you mentioned kind of anytime there's a transition time in the circle, then it takes a little while to figure out what you got. But Johnson Central brings back Michaela Pierce, who's been a very strong pitcher the last couple of years. She's not going to overpower you necessarily. She pitches to contact, but her control and her command are very good. They're off to, I believe, a 7-1 start as of Wednesday. They lost their first game, and they won 7 straight coming into Wednesday. So, they have a potential to come up here back to Lloyd and kind of see what they've got as well.
And Michaela Pierce's dad, Christopher Pierce, is now the coach. He found out 2 weeks before the season started that he was going to be the coach. So he'd been an assistant, though, for a while, so he's familiar with the girls. So Johnson Central could have another good season. They have a lot of good athletes on that team that went to the region tournament 2 years in a row. Or state tournament 2 years in a row.
Yeah, one.
Yes. All right, let's move on to the interview portion of the show. We're going to bring in Coach Greg Logan. All right, here at Greenup County baseball field with Musketeers coach Greg Logan, coming off a region championship last year and a state Final Four appearance. You've been kind of in both places, where you've been kind of the underdog, which is most of the season last year. A lot of teams might, or not a lot of people might not have picked your team to win the region championship. But this year, the target's kind of on your all's back. Which do you prefer?
I think everybody picked us to win it except the Daily Independent, best I remember. But no, Zach, obviously the target on our back is a much better place to be. We've had some teams here that's not as good as what we have this year nor in the past, but it's always good to have the target there and to be the favorite. So I think if you can keep that focus and just stay focused, throughout the year, throughout each and every practice, each and every game, I would rather be sitting in this seat as maybe some other teams out there.
6-0 right now to start the year. It's Wednesday. Obviously, you're seeing this on Friday. They will have played 1 or 2 more games after that, because you guys got Spring Valley tonight, obviously. But 6-0 to start the year, coming off a win over East Carter on Tuesday. Do you like where your team is right now?
Yeah, I do. We go to Florida next week, and some years that we've been 3-2. Last year we went to Georgia, and we was not very good at that point in time. But 6-0 is pretty good. We've done some good things throughout the year so far, but we've also made some mistakes. And I think it's just because of the lack of focus and maybe just not getting in a groove and a rhythm. But the last 2 games we've played error-free baseball, so that's something that that we're stressing, is because our defense is pretty good. But we've had some breakdowns, we've made some mental mistakes, and those they just kind of stick out. But so far, I think that we're right where we need to be.
What about Kyle Gammon and Brody Shoup starting off with a bang, back-to-back home runs?
Hey, we've went several years here and not hit very many home runs, or 1 or 2 or 0.
Yeah.
I mean, remember some years that we've never even had a home run.
It's hard to hit one out of here.
Yeah, it is, and the wind blows quite a bit, so I don't know if the wind was blowing out that day or not, but no, we're not going to take nothing away from them guys. But they're hitting the ball pretty good, and it was just kind of a freak thing. And then Ethan Coldiron, I think he closed his eyes and swung real hard, and he hit one as well. So we've had 3 home runs, by far. Like last night. We sure couldn't get anything generated, and we had to start off by bunts, a walk, and then bunting a couple times. But we'll take those home runs, and it's ever since the bat changes. I mean, some years here we've had 25 home runs, but those were when we had bats, So this year we started off with 3. We got kids that's got the potential to hit them, and we'll just take those and count them as a blessing for right now.
You guys got a lot of quality options pitching-wise, and they came through so well at the end of the year last year as mostly a group of juniors. You have some seniors in the rotation now, and you have some younger guys too. And how important is it to have Tristan Downing, though, back in the rotation?
Jeez, it's like having Roger Clemens, back in your rotation. So Tristan has pitched very well for us. He pitched Saturday at Chillicothe, Ohio against Toledo. He was lights out, and he came in relief, I think his first game maybe of the season, and he was very good then. So Tristan's biggest problem is he's his own worst enemy, and he'll come out here and not being loose and try to throw one 300 feet and try to do all kinds of silly things. But so we have to watch him, monitor him, and make sure he doesn't do that. But to have him back this year, being able to count on a kid that's going to throw strikes, a kid that's going to give you a chance, and because we don't have too many that can throw it up there the way that he does, velocity-wise. So it is definitely a added boost so far. What
is it like for you and Steve to juggle that pitching staff, though? Because you do have a lot of quality arms that you got to get time in there, and you got to manage that. So what is it like to juggle that?
Well, I think the biggest thing is when a kid is struggling, and last night our starting pitcher Zach Hayden struggled, and he threw 50 or 60 pitches and was not real sharp. So I think that we have the luxury of having the quick hook, of being able to go out and try a different pitcher, because we just don't have to stay with that pitcher if he's not having success that day. So it's a great luxury to have, and sometimes Ethan come in last night, threw one pitch, double play, looked like a genius, but that don't always happen. And Steve asked me before I went out there to remove Zach, he said, "What are you doing?" So I didn't answer, and after the double play, I said, "That's what we're doing." So so it's pretty funny, but it's we've got a great staff. We've got some kids in a JV level as well that's throwing it in the high 70s. That's giving us quality innings, quality starts. So it's a pretty good place to be, and I think our staff the pitching is. That's the key right there.
Obviously, you have a lot of team speed too. A lot of good weapons for this team, and that's why you guys are 6-0 right now. That's why you're defending champions. And while that is a pretty record, that's not the most important thing, is it? When you go down to Florida, hopefully you'll face some quality competition and
we got
benefit from that.
Yeah, on Thursday we've got West Jessamine and PRP.
They're not bad, are they?
Could be a long day, so we'll see. But we've got 3 out-of-state teams. I think Colorado, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. We've also got PRP, West Jessamine, Johnson Central. So you're going to see some very good competition, and that's what it's all about. It's not the start. I can promise you. Last year, things looked pretty bad after the 3rd week or whatever. But it's the finish, and that's what we've got to keep our focus on. Is finishing strong. It's good to get off to a good start, but it's the finish, and that's what we're going to be practicing for and working towards.
Does this field have an official name?
It does not.
Could it be like Michael Coffey Field?
Yes. It could be Michael Coffey.
Is he the biggest fan? I don't know. There's a lot of them.
He's pretty tough.
He's tough to beat.
He's, of course, you got Johnny Ballgame.
Oh yeah.
And when you put those two, you've got some interesting road trips.
Yes.
And we took a road trip to Chillicothe last year. Very interesting, and we got schooled on a lot of things that we didn't know. So yeah, it's good to have. And Michael is a Facebooker and texter, so he gives us a lot of information throughout the day, whether we need it or not.
Maybe it could be a combination craft coffee field.
Yes.
All right. All right, Coach Greg Logan, thank you for joining us, and best of luck the rest of the season. We're going to bring in Zach Hayden and Ethan Coldiron.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Ethan Coldiron, a jack of all trades here at Greenup County. Football player, star on the football team, stand out here on the baseball team. Ethan, what has this season been like so far with that target on your back, like I talked with Coach Logan about?
Well, it's always just a lot of fun to be playing baseball, but the target on our back's always a plus, because when you're the underdog, you have the excuse that we weren't supposed to win. So when you're on top, you don't have that excuse, so you just want to win all the time. You can't have a letdown.
Coach Logan joked about you guys being on a bacon grease diet. That's
Right.
what's contributing to that power, the power surge. You had a home run, and you've been eating a lot of bacon.
Well, yeah, he feeds us about 2 pounds of bacon before every game, and after every practice, makes us run 2 miles to get that off and stay in shape. So a lot of bacon and a lot of running, trying to even it out.
There you go. Good balance, right?
Yeah.
As far as that power goes, what did it feel like to hit that home run, and do you feel more of those coming on?
I'll be honest with you, it's like he said a second ago, I closed my eyes and swung. It was about head high, and I took a guess at it. I didn't know it was out until I hit the dugout and go crazy. So, I don't see a lot of them coming on, but if it comes, I'll take it.
Can you describe how you are as a pitcher out there? Because you're not a flamethrower by any means, but can you describe kind of what you bring to the mound?
I'm definitely not out there to overpower people. I'm out there to get the ball on the ground and get it to our defense. So I throw it a lot slower, so I just get them to roll over on it, use off speed a lot. So the defense behind me is there to back me up, so I just use them to my advantage.
If you've not seen him on the baseball field or the football field, you've probably seen him in the basketball stands. You're one of the most rowdy kids in the student section. So can you talk about being a part of that student section and what you bring to it?
We're just there to party. That's all it is. We're there to get the rest of the fans going, and we're just there to have fun and watch basketball.
All right. Well, maybe this season could be a party for you guys.
Yeah, we hope so.
All right, Ethan. Thanks.
Thank you.
We're back with Greenup County's Zach Hayden, and Zach, you're one of the several guys on this team that play another sport. There's actually a lot of you that also play soccer, a lot of baseball and soccer combinations. You're a goalie, obviously, out there. You had some big moments during the state tournament, the region tournament of baseball last year as a pitcher, and also a goalie on the soccer team. Of course, a big moment in the region tournament there, the penalty kicks against Ashland. You're kind of alone in both of those situations as a pitcher and as a goalie. Do you just kind of like being in that situation of it's all on you to get it done? And
Yeah, I like being all on me, and then I got my team there to back me up. So yeah, I'd rather be in that situation.
what was more exciting of that kind of either having to get outs there in the region tournament or having to stop a penalty kick?
I'd say the penalty kicks was more exciting because that's the first time I've ever done that. But the moment of winning the region was by far the best thing ever.
You guys come into this baseball season and ranked 5th in the state in the preseason by the State Coaches Association, and we've talked to Ethan and Coach Logan about this a little bit. How hard has it been for you guys to kind of really stay focused and say, okay, we still have to come out and play baseball and get it done this year?
Yeah, well, it's kind of like Ethan said. It's better to be in that position because we need to beat everybody. We're not here to lose, and But being an underdog wasn't that bad because we could come out, upset people. Nobody really expected us to do anything. But this year we got to stay focused every game because everybody's coming after us instead of other way around.
Remember from the state baseball tournament last year, you guys had a pet tortilla. Now we've heard of a lot of different kinds of like a pet rock and pet cactus, but I think a pet tortilla was kind of a new one. Where did that all come from?
Well, the team went out to eat before our first game against Lawrence County, and it was at the Mongolian Grill, and it was a tortilla, and we were just playing with it, and we ended up keeping them and naming them Frico, and we carried them around everywhere, brought them to the games. I actually still have them.
Oh,
yeah? Yeah, I actually still have them at my house on my dresser. He's still in good shape.
So he doesn't need to be refrigerated. He's all good.
Yep,
Okay.
he's good.
If you guys keep rolling like this, what do you have any idea what the next mascot might be, or you just kind of know it when you see it, or?
It's kind of just know it when you see it. We'll
Uh-huh.
just pick up anything and go with it. Whatever helps our mojo. A couple years ago, we kept 2 pink Barbie bats with us at all times. So it's just whatever gets us going.
Very nice. Go back to a baseball question real quick. Kind of as another member of a really deep pitching staff, there's nights where, as a pitcher, just kind of the way it is, sometimes you get it done and some you don't. How special is it, I guess, to know that you're going to have the opportunity to come back out the next time and kind of make up for maybe whatever issues you might have had the night before?
It's definitely really good to know that my coaches believe in me to get the job done, but also on nights I don't get the job done, I feel okay coming out of the game because like last night, Ethan came in through 1 pitch, got me out of the jam. So it's just good to know that I got people there to back me up the whole time.
Good deal. Here with Zach Caden from Graham County Baseball.
Time for HTPTs. 2 for the road. Zach, take it away.
Well, look at going to the basketball court for a minute. Of course, basketball's been done here for a while in the 16th region, but in the NBA, they're just now getting into the meat of their season. And you look at kind of a reason to actually be interested in the regular season, which is difficult sometimes just because it drags on so long from October to April. The Golden State Warriors are pursuing the record of most wins in a regular season. They're 67-7 as of Wednesday, going into a game Wednesday night. So that means the Bulls' record is 72-10 to beat. So that means that Golden State would need to win 6 of its last 8 games. But really, they're winning 90% of their games right now. So that would be about on that clip. And I guess one mark of just how dominant they've been is that the Spurs are 62-12, and they're 5 games back in the division. If you think about how crazy that is, 62-12, and nobody's talking about them. And typically, of course, San Antonio is not real flashy, and people aren't talking about them a lot, even as consistently good as they are. But they've been just completely overshadowed, even though they beat the Warriors about a week ago. So that really sets up for a very interesting, probably a postseason series, unless there's a tremendous
would be
upset.
the finals, I think.
It would have to be.
And because the Cavaliers are kind of in turmoil right now, and LeBron James, I don't think he can decide what team he wants to play
Their
for.
chemistry doesn't seem to be very good.
Not really.
Yeah.
But you look at the Spurs, and a lot of people say the Spurs don't have any superstars, but I think they do. Kawhi Leonard's a superstar.
Yeah.
Tim Duncan used to be a superstar.
Yeah.
You call him that now. I'm going to stay in the NBA for my item. D'Angelo Russell, not the smartest move that he pulled, the rookie for the Lakers, actually recorded a conversation with fellow teammate Nick Young, and it involved some relationships outside of his relationship with his fiance. All that got caught on tape, and it was some kind of prank. That's an April Fool's prank gone wrong.
Not
right
a very
there.
good prank.
Yeah, D'Angelo Russell will not be welcomed into any other locker room until he can kind of say, I think he kind of disrupted his trust a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah, I'd say. I mean, it'd be hard to trust him ever again, I would think.
Yeah.
That kind of, to me, almost what I took out of that is in this day and age, everybody's got a cell phone in their pocket that's also got a camera and a voice recorder.
Yeah.
If you're up to no good, no matter what it is, it will be found out and very quickly. Regardless of what it is, you think you're safe, you're not ever anywhere. So just do what you're supposed to be doing, and maybe you don't have to worry about it.
There you go. Hey, that's a
At
good
the
way to
risk
close
of
the show.
oversimplifying everything.
All right, Zach. It's Zack Klemme and Matthew Sparks, who's not here, but he gave a game ball, and he's here in spirit.
Right.
All right. And
I'm
I'm
making it
Aaron.
sound like he's dead.
Well, he's still here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just right down the road. He lives in Raceland. I'm Aaron Snyder, and this is HTPT. We're kicking off the baseball and softball season. Once again, HTPT is brought to you by Fannin Automotive Family. We'll see you next time.